Welcome to, I think, Wednesday. Is it Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday. Thursday's price action. This is gold, and currently, if we drop onto the daily time frame or even the weekly time frame, what we can see is that the weekly time frame we did push higher and reached, I guess, 3060 something. Then we are currently rejecting lower. We have a possible fair value gap which might be formed, of which we might also see a reaction of last week. And since it's on Thursday, and maybe I don't really want to call this the high of the week. Yes, it can be, but also want to see what the lower time frame got for us. Is it likely that we are rejecting going lower, and also see maybe this fair value gap to be a consolidation fair value gap, because currently what we're seeing is this candle is printing above that high, but not really much from the weekly time frame. We need to drop onto the lower time frame, but know that we have that possible weekly time frame. Let's ensure that the higher time frames are clean, so I need to have these visibility to be below right there. So if we get to the daily time frame, what you're seeing is we have this possible daily fair value gap. We also have the yesterday's range. We have seen yesterday's high being taken. We have this fair value gap paired also with this daily low, which is a major liquidity pool. And so what you're seeing with this candle is currently we are displacing lower. We have 9 hours to go, and is it likely that we see a bearish structure with fair value gaps of these as this candle is printing, that will lead us to this fair value gap, and as well as this major liquidity pool? That's what we need to diagnose of the lower time frame. So of the lower time frame, what we saw is yesterday we formed that bullish of FOMC push prices higher. We formed that fair value gap. Market tapped into it. This fair value gap didn't do its job by pushing prices higher to create another fair value gap. We saw prices dropping lower, closing below these down close candle, this down close candle closing below this candle's low, and also we didn't have that rejection. So with this was a first sign that indeed the market should be dropping lower. And also we had this fair value area, which the market, if the market doesn't really respect this fair value area, the 4-hour fair value area, then the next target should be the 4-hour fair value area's low, which is also the daily fair value gap as well as yesterday's low. So what the next candle did is we created an immediate rebalance, and then we are dropping off lower. This candle has an approximate of 1 hour 40 minutes before it closes. So the main thing, or the level I will be watching of, will price really form the immediate rebalance, of which we can continue lower towards this low, or what will be happening. So that's what I will be watching for, and I will have the immediate rebalance as my context area to see no fair value gap being formed. A good example is this, then a continuation going lower. My first target will be this one, and then later on we'll try to see whether price will be pushing to this 4-hour fair value gap as well as this other 4-hour fair value gap. So having that 4-hour immediate rebalance, if we go to the 1-hour time frame, we are noticing is we have a bearish structure. Sorry for the noise, I'm somewhere kind of loudy. Hopefully you can hear me now. So immediately this previous day's high was swept. What you can see is the market had created this high, the market dropped, swept those liquidities, a tank lower. We created a market structure shift with fair value gap. Market respected that fair value gap nicely, had us sting into it, then we dropped lower, which is a nice price action that happened during the 5 a.m. candle. I don't usually trade that time. I want to catch the New York time. So we are forming a bearish structure, because also we are creating another market structure shift after this initial market structure shift was confirmed. So to me, the market is indeed bearish. So with that, I want to see this fair value gap being confirmed. The 7 a.m. we have 8:30 news, so I need to mark up the 8:30 news right here, because 7:30 8:30 we have some news that will be printing. So what I want to see is this fair value gap being confirmed, then of which we might price might or should be pushing lower towards these lows. So of this possible hasn't really been confirmed. What we can see is only the 30 minutes fair value gap that has been confirmed, signaling bearish prices. So we'll be watching how price reacts to that, also the 4-hour immediate rebalance, as well as that 1-hour possible fair value gap that will be confirmed. So currently what I'm expecting, consolidation for us to confirm for the 4-hour candle to close. So within the next 1 hour 30 minutes, maybe a consolidation, then staying into that 1 hour fair value gap or the 4-hour immediate rebalance. Then off this level I will try to look for opportunities to be shorting towards this daily fair value gap and also this 4-hour fair value gap. So that's what I'm expecting for gold. Let's see a quick one for EU and GU. GU has been tanking, and EU is really tanking. Yeah, from the daily time frame, if we start off the weekly time frame, what we can see is we have this weekly fair value gap below here, which if we have, all right, so right there we have the weekly FEG bottom right, that if the market will be going, that's the level we can maybe anticipate us staying into, and then a reversal. What also I'm noticing is the market has already swept a major liquidity pool, and what we are seeing is we have a nice rejection of that major liquidity pool, which happens to be a nice rejection, which means we had fair value gaps going higher. So weekly high sweep, if you see this emoji here, it's a sweep, should be at the top right there. We have that weekly sweep, and with these rejections is we have fair value gaps going in and then fair value gaps out of that major liquidity pool, and that if that high has been taken and we have a fair value gap here with a major liquidity pool over here, then we can also anticipate to see the market dropping to that low. But what we need also is to see the structure that will be forming around the 4-hour. So we need to have this visible, and below also this one to be visible below, right? From the daily time frame, what we can see is yesterday we did after the sweep of that, we dropped off yesterday, created engineered liquidities over here. Today opened a small rally, then we have been tanking. This is our draw, the weekly low. That's what I will be expecting to see the market gravitate to. And also we have these other fair value gaps resting below here, but since this will be my first target, later on we can see whether we will be forming structures that will deliver to these daily fair value gaps or these other daily fair value gap. But for now, this will be my first target, this fair value area low. Then later on we can expect to see this weekly fair value gap being taken. No much structure from the daily time frame, but as of the 4-hour time frame, we can see the market as of yesterday we did get an expansion, which candle, I think this candle is what I benefited with a 1 to 2 yesterday. So market had formed this fair value gap, the market rallied into that fair value gap, had a sting into it, and now we are displacing with this fair value gap, creating market structure shift, and we have this possible 1-hour fair value gap. Here we have that 1-hour 4-hour, I mean, sorry, I have the 4-hour possible fair value gap, of which I will be watching whether price will deliver to this 4-hour fair value gap, then have a drop lower. Currently we need to understand that also we are in the final phase of the weekly expansion, so somehow we might also create a fair value gap like this, which is not really traded into, and the market expands. So we need also to know that, but that is confirmed with the lower time frame confirmation. So is it likely that the market will push towards that 4-hour fair value gap and then reject? I need also to have my immediate rebalance zone in close proximity. They are in close proximity, so I need to have it there, because sometimes we usually see that and then the market just tanks lower without maybe stinging into a fair value gap. A good example is this: we had a fair value gap over here, then what the market did is it created immediate rebalance and then we pushed higher minus stinging into the fair value gap. But later on we stung into it, pushed higher, but that all sometimes it happens. So we need to drop onto the 1-hour time frame and see what we have there. So need to ensure that it's visible below. So we have the 4-hour there, and also we have the 1-hour immediate rebalance at that moment in time. So what I'm expecting is something like this. We have news events, so I'm expecting something like this. We can't think into that a 4-hour fair value gap, but also we have this 1-hour fair value gap in close proximity to this 4-hour IR. So it's something I will be watching. Is it likely that we react off the 1-hour fair value gap or the 4-hour IR, and then or the 4-hour fair value gap, then we can be dropping? So that's one thing I will be watching for. And from the 30 minutes, we have these fair value gaps left open. We have news at around 8:30. That's what we need to also know. So 8:30. At that moment, we have news event. So some maybe 1 hour, about 15 minutes to go before that is confirmed. And then if price reacts of this fair value gap, then my first target, as I've said, will be that weekly fair value gap, but also we might expect seeing lower prices. So that's EU. Let's see what GU has, because we have 8 a.m. GU news. 8 a.m. GU news. So what are we seeing? What we're seeing is we have this weekly high that has been currently swept. So we have previous week's high, and the emoji over there should be at the top, right? So we have swept that, and also we have this fair value gap paired with the previous week's low. It's kind of deeper compared to what we have for EU, right there, bottom right. So we have the weekly fair value gap at that moment in time. If we drop to have some more confirmations, what we're seeing is that the GU is more stronger going lower compared to GU, right? Compared to GU, EU is more stronger. And what we can see also is we have an SMT that has been formed. I was talking about the SMT that has been formed, that was formed yesterday. Jerusha asked of it. And an SMT is, you see, this current candle hasn't really swept these previous days high. So the Thursday candle hasn't swept the Wednesday high. So what we have, if we drop onto the 1 hour time frame, at this moment in time, what we have is a lower high from this high, right? If we check, that is the 14 a.m. candle, that this high that has been formed at this point, let's say this high. So that the Tuesday 4 a.m. high hasn't really been swept by this high. But if we confirm for GU, what you can notice is at this moment we have the higher high that has been formed. So the 4 a.m. or this is the 15, Tuesday 15 p.m. So 3 p.m. Tuesday was swept by this high. Wednesday 8 p.m. So Tuesday 3 p.m. and Wednesday 8 p.m. Let's see that for EU. You can notice Wednesday 8 a.m. hasn't really been taken by Tuesday 3 p.m. right there, where we have the vertical line. Exactly there, what we have is a lower high from this high, assuming that high towards these 8 p.m. right? So we have that SMT, meaning this is the weaker pair to trade compared to GU, which formed this higher high, right? So this is kind of weaker going lower, so we need to trade a pair that is weaker going lower. So this is what we refer to as an SMT. But before that, even you can notice it off the daily time frame, whereby currently this day has swept the previous day's high, but for GEO we can see this current candle hasn't really swept the previous day's high. So that's what we refer to as an SMT, right? So from the GEO, if we analyze the GEO, what you can see is we have the previous week's high swept, we have this as a weekly fair value area, and then we have this fair value areas low that is yet to be taken. So we have this daily fair value area low liquidities, so that are yet to be taken. Okay, liquidities, all right, bottom right. So the daily fair value areas low liquidities, that will be my first target. Then later on we can see whether price will be delivering to these lows. Now we want to observe the structure. What do we have of the 4-hour time frame? So of the 4-hour time frame, what we're seeing is the market swept those highs. Let's go to GU. You can see we don't have a higher high right there. You can see we only have a lower high compared to GU that created a higher high. So that's what we refer to as an SMT, and this is the target that I will be wanting to see the market drop lower, and from which levels we have these fair value gap. So we have that 4-hour FVG. Yeah, that's what I will be watching, whether the market will be showing signs going lower, but also we are having the immediate rebalance at that immediate rebalance of that. So is it likely we may react of the 4-hour immediate rebalance or the 4-hour fair value of the fair value gap? So that's what we will try to be watching for. We want to see either reactions of this level, but if the 4-hour candle closes, right, if this 4-hour candle closes inside this range, then immediately if the next candle opens up, then we will be creating a definite immediate rebalance. So for now, we are seeing some nice push ups. The market is currently pushing up, and if you try to monitor how price is reacting higher for GU and EU, you'll notice that GU is bullish whereas GU is bearish. So EU is the weaker pair compared to GU, and if we need to be shorting, then GU is the pair we need to be shorting. So currently pushing higher, we have the 4-hour fair value gap, we have this 1-hour fair value gaps there, and since we have 8:30 news, we need to have it marked up there so that it's a GU. We have an 8 GU push, which I think will be bullish. Then later on we can be dropping lower. That's not that's what I will be wanting to react off of, but not for GU. I want to be trading either EU today or gold if any presents an opportunity. So that's what I'm expecting. And if we check on at this moment, this where the market opened, we created that higher, the high of the day. The market is dropping. We also have the London highs at that moment in time, is it likely we might see the sweep of London highs, then a continuation going lower? So that's what we'll need to be patient and wait for, and then see whether the market will finally deliver to our first target, then towards the second target, which is this weekly fair value gap. But as for me, I'm really watching for EU, which created the lower low, and then this will be my first target. And if we have a price maybe tanking lower, the next target of that will be possibly this daily fair value gap at this moment, or maybe a 4-hour swing low. Let's try to see. Yeah, this will be the next 4-hour swing low, which will be the next target. So that's what I'm watching for. And for gold, I think everything is clear. I'm also expecting lower prices, quick in, quick out. Also, I will be watching that 4-hour immediate rebalance, the next 1 hour 23 minutes, or of that 1 hour fair value gap. If it's being confirmed, then I will be targeting those levels. So that's what I will be engaging in. So let's wait and see how price will print out. So until then, let's be communicating via Telegram.